Welcome to the EDS Podcast. I'm Ellis.
I'm Shyguy.
I'm LaMario.
I want to kill Ellis.
That's Travis.
He always does this. What a joker.
So, hey. When you were a kid, what was your favorite thing?
Jerking off?
You still do that.
Oh, yeah.
So, as you can probably already guess.
With the straightest face. Probably just, winking it.
I'm not laughing because of the comment. I'm laughing because of his laugh.
Same.
And welcome to the NostalgiaCast, ladies and gentlemen.
Hooray!
Oh.
We'll give Ellis a moment to collect himself and his thoughts.
Shy, you want to start off?
I really liked stuffed animals when I was younger.
Hashtag Beanie Babies?
I did. Okay, okay, so I had this one bear, and I thought it was
Barry, right?
No, I thought it was really cute. It was like a little beanie baby, and it was blue, and I was like, oh, you know what? I think of Blue Jay, that's cool, but I'm gonna shorten that. So my bear's name was BJ. And
BJ the bear. As if there weren't already enough jokes from the Barney show.
It was a simpler time. No one told me to not name it that, and so that's what it was. But yeah, I love playing with stuffed animals. They were my friends, and I especially had like a lot of bunnies, and it was good. Yeah, that was one of my favorite things.
Did you collect the ones that they give away in the McDonald's?
Oh,
Happy
I
Meals?
love those.
I did not.
Those are the fun ones. I remember they had like dolphins and like didn't they even have like the Coke bear at one time?
They did.
Dude, that thing was awesome.
Well, what didn't you like about your childhood? Like, you just like, better off without it.
Probably a lot of things because I was really awkward. I mean, I was more awkward. Like, I was like so much more awkward. Like, I spent some like recesses alone
Ash was getting
at the
angry.
swings. Like,
Oh, you were that kid.
I was that kid. I was the kid that would take a book to recess because I didn't want to look at anyone while I was alone, and the teacher had to stop me and was like, "Why don't you have friends?" Like, she literally stopped me from reading.
Teacher's just like, "Why don't you have friends?"
That's a legitimate concern when you're a kid, though.
Yeah, they're just like, if you don't grow up with friends, you're gonna become like a serial killer. Apparently.
Like she literally stopped me from reading during recess, and she made me go with these other girls, and they clearly were not having it. So, that was awkward. That made me feel more awkward.
You can't sit with us.
Yeah, it was.
You can't play Foursquare with us!
No, he was telling that to you. Get out.
Free me.
Hashtag Free Shy 2015.
Please.
Oh, Shy, yeah. Well, I guess I'll go next. So, as a kid, I'm gonna let you know something. I have always, since my inception, been a fucking blurred. I am nerdy as hell and twice as black. Like, holy shit.
Kind of semi-black
When you said
with a little
blurred,
bit of
I'm like,
Asian
what does that
mixed in.
mean? And then you said black, and I was like, oh, black nerd. I'm like, haha, that's stupid. Are you joking?
You're a blur
Hey,
also,
hey,
Ellis.
hey,
I'm just gonna say.
That YouTube channel is amazing.
He is.
Does that mean I'm a snail nerd?
Are you a snail?
Yeah.
Get out.
Get out.
Yeah,
We don't take kindly to your kind. Anyway, but as a kid, I know a lot of people tend to associate me with anime, but trust me, it's a lot more than that. Like, as a little kid,
I think personally the hefty majority is anime, but you still touch in everything.
Yeah, it's true. I touch on everything. Comics. I fucking love cartoons. And most of all, a lot of people know this. I, since day one, have been the hugest fan of Power Rangers and shows like them. Like, that was the first show I ever watched, supposedly. Like, apparently my mom would, like, leave me with the babysitter, and when she'd come back, and I was, like, 2, like, I barely spoke most of the time, but apparently I would hum the theme song all the time, and she's like, what the fuck is that?
I'm impressed you remember the first show you ever watched.
LaMario's over here just like playing with his toys.
Yeah, basically.
I don't remember the first show I ever watched. I do remember the first show I coherently watched. I was just like, oh, this is cool. There's a storyline. That was Yu-Gi-Oh! Before season 3. Before season 3 happened, just no more of that.
Speaking of Yu-Gi-Oh! But like, as far as anime and shit goes, like anyone who grew up in the States, I of course started off on DBZ, Pokemon, Sailor Moon, etc. But the thing was, my mom would be like, LaMario, you can't be watching these hyper-violent Japanese cartoons. And I'm just like...
I feel that's what your mother would say.
Yeah, basically. And like, she banned a lot of things as a kid, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, I'm gonna wait till you fall asleep. And then like, eventually she stopped caring.
Go to sleep.
I think she stopped caring because like...
I'm sorry.
Ellis, basically, that was it. But like, I think she stopped caring because she's just like, you know, there's been so many times where like we've been watching movies and they were like super violent. So why am I stopping you? Basically,
baby's first movie, Pulp Fiction. Oh, okay.
Actually, funny story. My first movie was Mortal Kombat. But as far as other nostalgic things go, like I said, I'm also a huge cartoon person. Like I love Cartoon Network, Disney, all those growing up.
I know there's one you want to talk about in particular, one particular show.
Let's see if you can guess what it is.
Static Shock.
Superhero Static Shock. Woo woo.
I was going to ask you, was your favorite superhero growing up Static Shock?
Yeah. You hear like a lot about like representation and shit, and like while I was a little kid, it wasn't like a huge thing to me because I'm just like, I got Gerald from Hey Arnold and the Black Power Ranger. I think I'm good, but
No, but here's the thing though: when they made Static Shock, they didn't make Virgil like super like
black.
No, he was
a normal kid
from that time period.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about the character that was out there? That was Richie.
Yeah.
In which they didn't really touch base on where they should have.
They didn't.
Like with
but it was still confirmed at least. At least you knew that was there.
For those of you who don't know, Richie, like his white friend from Static Shock, who also became a superhero, he was gay. In the original comic and in the show.
They never mentioned it in the show, but he was.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, we all saw the earring.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
And like, there's like one point where I think he has like on a fishnet shirt. And like, it's a little like, that's kind of effeminate, but I'm just gonna ignore it for right now.
It's pretty close to the early 2000s and 90s. I feel that could still be a thing.
Yeah, basically.
They're just like, we can get away with this, right?
Good. But yeah,
By the way, can we all agree that once he became Gear, he was better than Static?
I wouldn't say that, but he was pretty damn good. I personally
always liked Gear better. Good. By the way, if he was not gay, him and Oracle.
They would make amazing babies, like amazing smart babies. but yeah, amongst all my anime and cartoons and whatnot, the one thing I could have done without was the fact that, like a lot of nerds at the time, I was fat as hell. I hated exercising. I could barely walk, and I got made fun of a lot. And because as a little kid, I for some reason didn't have like a concept of violence and non-violence. I just think if someone ever messed with you, punch their lights out. This kid was like, ha. Like, I remember I was in 2nd grade, and we were, like, lined up going to the bathroom, 2 at a time, or whatever it was. And, like, this kid was like, ha, you're a fat loaf of bread. And I'm just like...
What a thing to say to someone. You're a loaf of bread.
But
everyone loves bread.
I need shirt number 2, by the way. I need to know what brand, like Nature's Own, Wonder Bread. What are we looking at?
I like to think Sara Lee.
Oh yeah, pound cake.
But everybody doesn't
call
love
someone a loaf of bread. That's the most random.
I have heard someone been called pound cake, but they were white and like bees.
I heard that was a good thing. Being
it's not.
But
okay,
pound cake is good.
Pound cake is good. Being called one is not.
That's
like being called a cracker. It's technically a slur, but you're not.
It's not bad.
No one's just like, oh, you know what I really love? Saltines.
That's true.
There are people that do.
No, Yoshi's mom loves saltines. Like, she loves saltines. It's weird.
But chicken and a biscuit is so much better.
I would much rather eat Ritz than saltines.
True.
I would rather go saltines than Ritz.
But anyway.
I was really into Ritz crackers when I was a kid. Side note.
Anyway, so I'm just like, you asshole, and I like just punched him in the gut. And my teacher's just like, LaMario, no.
I want to see like a little LaMario just like turn, look at the kid, and just like gut punch him.
And then there's another time, like in the same grade on the bus, this kid didn't really even insult my weight. He was just an asshole. Like he was yelling at me about the ordering of our buses, and I'm just like, I've had enough of this kid. And I like grabbed his arm and punched him with his own arm repeatedly.
You're just like,
For those of you who don't,
I thought you weren't gonna go limp.
No, I was laughing. You just freaking hit myself.
For those of you who can't tell, like
Like
Travis did the same thing to Ellis.
Freaking hit me in the eyelid.
But here's the thing. I think I eventually just got tired of doing that because, like, I moved to Louisiana around
LaMario,
5th
you
grade.
became a bully.
I wasn't. They were talking shit, and they had to be dealt with. At least that's what. At least
I'm sorry. You became a mobster.
They were talking shit, so they had to get hit.
Until like 9th grade, not 9th grade, until 5th grade. I was 9 at the time. When I was living in Louisiana in Ruston.
Did you have a posse?
No.
I really wanted to know if he had a posse.
I mean, I had a general group, but it wasn't a posse.
Not like now where he has the crew.
Yeah.
No, like he beats up enough people that people start respecting him, so they become his goons.
He's like the Louisiana Messiah.
But like,
he's got 12 people following
like,
around all the time. They're calling Mario's disciples.
I was in Louisiana.
They got matching leather jackets.
Exactly around the time that Hurricane Katrina happened. And while we weren't in the part where it happened, like the kids from New Orleans came and they were angsty and fucking upset. And like this one kid, he basically became my rival because we got into a fight every day to the point where like we never really got in a serious trouble for it, but the teacher was just kind of like, I've accepted this.
One teacher who's just like, I honestly don't care if you two beat the shit out of each other. Because like, don't do it. If you're gonna do it in my room. Because then you won't get in trouble.
You see them go out to the little courtyard, and they're about to get into a fight. And one teacher's like, "Hey, don't fight!" And then the teacher like holds them back, and it's just like, let them fight. Let them finish this.
He's the Asian dude from Godzilla's like, let them fight.
And
it's
then
like
beat the shit
it
out.
was like generally like the superhero and supervillain thing. Like we were friends, and then something I can't remember the exact details, but some bullshit happened, and then he's just kind of like,
you were hitting on his girl.
He's like, we're enemies now, and ever since then, it's just like, ugh. And then we kind of got over it by then, and was like, yeah, we cool. All right.
Whereas to this day, if you saw him again, you'd probably beat the shit out of him.
Maybe.
Just right on sight.
No, he'll have his group, you'll have your group, and we'll all just go to war.
Okay, but to close out this shit, that I could have done with that, I think I want to go on record and say 7th grade was the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Middle school usually is the terrible year.
I don't want to think about middle school ever again.
Like,
I don't remember most of middle school.
Good, you lucky.
I slept through half of it, sketched through about a quarter of it, then the other half I was just like, where am I?
Like, I ended the school year with getting my ass kicked. I ended the school year with getting my ass kicked. I'm just like, like I usually pass with passable grades, and I could go home and like watch Pokemon and not give a shit about the year that just passed me by. But no, I can't. I have to take this L. What will save me? And then Iron Man came out like that same summer, and I'm just like,
bruh.
I'm just like, I can move on.
then you came to Duluth.
And
you made the right decisions.
And I made the right decisions.
Then you went to Louisiana, which was a wrong decision in itself. You went back to Louisiana, made the wrong decisions. And then you came back and made a good decision.
Alright, that's enough about me, though. One of you two gents go next.
Would you like to go first? I have an idea.
And you guys really rock, paper, scissoring it out?
Damn straight.
Like men.
Like real men. Okay.
Anyways.
God, my nostalgia. Well, my nostalgia involves many things.
Top
oddly,
5.
Top 3.
Top 20, gotcha.
Top 3.
Quiet, you troll doll.
Ooh. Ooh.
Weirdly enough, I actually started listening to music back when I was kind of young. The first band I really put any focus into, honestly, was the Backstreet Boys. Mm. And to this day, I will still listen to them because I remember most of their songs from the 90s. NSYNC was inferior, though Timberlake was great.
I want Travis to like go down the street wearing like a Backstreet Boys shirt, and like a bunch of girls are just like NSYNC was better, and then Travis just like grabs their hands and just slams them on the floor, and they just like starts dancing away.
I just go with The Last of Us on them, just right into the wall. It's like no, Nick for life. But like him, I was a huge nerd back in school. I remember first time I really started paying any attention to Pokemon was like around the time I broke my arm. Which funny story behind that? We were in nap time.
You broke your arm at nap time.
Well, it was technically my collarbone. We was in kindergarten during nap time. We were watching some video, and I don't know what happened exactly, like what caused it. My arm went up, and then immense pain. No real like blunt trauma force, just up, and on the plus side, I got free cookies for like the next week, which is amazing. Free cookies and juice, godsend. But then I just remember just like sitting around, just watching Pokemon the entire time. I was just like, I can catch them all.
I could do it if my arm wasn't broken.
Yeah. Like, damn. But jumping a little bit forward in time. By the way, my nostalgia like includes 2013 because that was a better time than now.
You big baby.
Hey. Those 2 years made a lot of difference.
The title of Big Baby has already been taken by me, so
But you're small.
But
you're not even of average height.
Little baby?
No, it's baby.
No, just infant.
So small.
Fetus. Embryo. Zygote.
Sperm. Alright, but
concept.
You fallopian tube.
Idea.
No, but no, I remember probably one of the biggest shows I ever really watched growing up was Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Because that show was amazing.
Delicious.
That show. And it was the first show I was ever really disappointed in. Because of the last episode. And the cancellation of Season 5. We can all agree that was bullshit.
Look.
We need to know what happened to Tara.
Look. If it ended where they had like all the other like extra Titans and they were about to like beat the crap out of Dr. Light, I would have been fine. I would have been Gucci.
But no, you had to have that one episode. Fuck you.
It's like, why would you do this to me?
Also, I didn't watch a lot of anime actually. Like the few ones I did was, like I said, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon. I watched Card Captor, shockingly, for like the season that it existed. And I still need to watch Sailor Moon. I am ashamed of myself for not actually watching that. And in breaking news, Shy is dancing in the corner singing the theme song.
Shy was just like flailing her arms for like a good second before she said anything.
Actually, one of the few shows I actually claim a little bit higher than I like Teen Titans was actually The Batman. The one from the 2000s.
The Batman's really underrated.
It really is, because it had like a whole bunch of really iconic characters. Like, I mean, it didn't have certain people like Two-Face because the movies were going on during that time. Are you marking on his tablecloth?
No, it's a piece of napkin.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just like,
it's like, what are you doing? But also,
wait,
like,
you mean when you're saying the Batman?
Yeah, the one that had that Dracula movie.
Gotcha.
That movie,
because you said the Batman, and I was like, does he mean Batman the animated series? I'm like, no, wait, that's 99. He said 2000.
The Batman.
Batman.
Which actually did a really good job introducing like every single. It started with Batman.
I love that
as young. It's like a fucking monkey. He was great. But no, it had like him back when he was in his prime. Back when like I really enjoyed I like Batman when he's younger, honestly.
Yeah.
Because he's young, makes mistakes, but he's still like semi-likable.
He's not an angry old man who's just like,
I
don't need help.
He had likable Alfred. They brought in Commissioner Gordon over time, not instantly, which was cool. They had Batgirl, Robin, brought in the league. It was great, and plus the best rendition of Mr. Freeze and Firefly you'll ever see.
That Mr. Freeze was awesome. Oh my god.
Actually having a metahuman freeze, that was sweet.
Yeah.
But also as well, to round out like some of the cartoons that I just loved growing up, there was also the Jackie Chan Adventures was fucking amazing.
I need to watch that
show
again.
was so good.
And as the seasons kept going, it still was good. It never really took a downfall.
Because Jackie Chan is amazing. Jackie Chan is timeless.
Really is.
Jackie.
And the fact that they actually kept building up all these characters and that they kept them around, like as the seasons went on, you're just like all these side characters that you'll never see again in season 1. You see them again in season 5, just like all of them joining forces.
Jackie!
I swear to God, the enemy in that entire show was Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his actual name was. Was it Mr. Black or?
No, that was his boss.
Yeah. But you know who I mean.
Yeah.
He was basically fucking Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And Young Justice, which will be another conversation for a totally different time.
Okay,
Every time
Travis.
she does this, hit her.
All right, Travis, real quick. What could you have done without in your childhood?
What could I have done without in my childhood? What could I have done without the Iron Man show?
On
the
Nicktoons?
90s show or Armored Adventures?
Not the 90s show.
I'll give you that.
That
I will
was-
give you that.
The Spider-Man 90s cartoon was probably one of the best superhero cartoons you'll ever see.
Do you remember Spider-Man and Friends?
That was terrible. I will stab you with this pencil.
No, I was just saying, do you remember it?
I will say this much, though. The Avengers 90 show was much worse.
I fully believe that.
Ant-Man was like... Hank Pym, Ant-Man was the leader. Cap, Iron Man, and Thor weren't there. They just didn't exist.
Oh, I just remember Hawkeye.
Hawkeye with his terrible costume.
I mean, they based the Ultimate version on that a lot.
They did.
But it was so much better.
It's true.
That mask was cool.
It was. All right.
But yeah, I really could have done with a lot of like the 90s. I know I'm like setting myself up here to like get murdered by millions of people, but a lot of the 90s superhero shows weren't really that good. Animated series Batman was amazing. The Spider-Man show was great. I will take or leave X-Men. I really didn't care. I still don't care about X-Men that much, to be perfectly honest. It's just not a franchise that appeals to me. But for the most part, the 90s superheroes were just really weak.
How did you feel about Superman, the animated series?
Not as good as Batman, obviously.
Yeah.
And just kind of... I never liked Superman. Ever. I always thought he was a shitty hero. He was too perfect and unlikable. Okay, he's like Bill Clinton.
Rebrand him Perfect Man.
I'd do it. Give him a big P on his chest instead. What's
All right.
that? Okay, the S was a symbol for hope. What's the P for?
Perfect.
Prick. It's for prick.
No,
Preppy douchebag.
No. You give him the P, and then you give him like the headpiece that's the antennas of Cell.
All right, Ellis, go.
Okay, my childhood. My childhood basically consisted of me playing. No, I didn't even get into video games until I was like 7 when I got a GameCube for Christmas, and I got Mario Kart Double Dash, which is the best game on the GameCube.
That doesn't say much.
I like the GameCube. Leave me alone.
Hey, I love the GameCube
To be fair, I didn't get to play video games until I was in middle school because my dad was really strict on that. So
Yeah. My dad used to be really restrictive on what I could and could not watch on Nickelodeon because he was like,
because SpongeBob makes you gay, stuff like that.
he was like, these shows make you dumb. You can only watch Jimmy Neutron.
I felt SpongeBob. Here's the thing, though. I felt SpongeBob did make you dumb. I will to this day argue.
If you watch anything past the movie, it's true.
Like, my dad was like, you can only watch Jimmy Neutron.
That movie was amazing.
That movie was amazing.
Yeah.
It was comically bad, but it was still amazing. I didn't watch the show, but that movie was great.
The show, it's the only movie to show adaptation that really worked. One of the few.
Foster's
the
Home
Duck
for
was not
Imaginary
bad.
Friends was a good show that I
Yes,
liked.
Foster's was great.
I don't know if anybody remembers this, but I mentioned it on Cartoon Cat. No, I mentioned it early on a podcast. The show Cubics.
I remember
Yes.
Cubics.
Yes.
It got canceled way before it should have. It didn't get a proper ending.
It did.
It got an ending. It didn't get a good one.
I guess.
It was kind of like Seinfeld.
I love the idea of kid gets robot. Robot is cool. And
Have you ever seen The Iron Giant?
I never finished that movie. I never finished it. I've seen it. I've never finished it.
How do you?
Everyone, we're gonna pause this podcast for the next hour and a half while Ellis watches the movie. We'll get back to you with the results.
And we're back. I finished The Iron Giant.
Liar!
What
could you have done without?
What could I have done without? I can't really think of anything that I really didn't like in my childhood.
So you mean to tell me your childhood was completely normal?
I had a pretty decent childhood. Apparently my girlfriend thinks my childhood was like incomplete because I didn't watch every Studio Ghibli movie.
Oh God!
No one did.
She apparently is going or has.
I watched one Howl's Moving Castle, which wasn't that enjoyable because it was really fucking boring.
Wow.
She looks offended.
I don't
Wow.
know
It's
that shit.
My favorite Studio
Wow.
Ghibli film.
It was fucking boring.
It's
Wow.
my favorite.
I don't know how you came to that conclusion. I'll allow you to have your
Because
opinion.
I was a freshman.
Well,
My bio teacher forced us to watch it in class. I'm just like,
What does?
why are
What
we
does that
doing
have to do with
this?
biology?
It was like the last
The first one I
last
watched
3 weeks of
was
school.
Spirited Away when it was on
Yeah, I
Cartoon
did too.
Network.
And I really loved it.
That was really like I was just like, what is this? Ugh.
Real quick, they'll round it off.
We're not doing cast with
We get what? This is the one thing I fear because I know everyone's gonna want to talk about a lot. But okay, you get one more thing that I talk about. Everyone, really quick, sum it up. Go now.
About our childhoods.
Yeah, go
Okay.
now. You talk about Kids Next Door.
I miss not being able to eat like 5 million things at once and then be totally okay, and then a little bit later I can eat 5 million other things. You can't do that when you're older. It's like your body is like, yo, slow down. But when you're a kid, you're like an endless black hole. You can eat
How
everything.
bad is your metabolism?
No, she just throws up super easily. Like it's ridiculous.
God.
Maybe it's just your anatomy. Because I've seen people like
no,
down like half a
I've heard
restaurant.
other people say the same thing. Like, hey, you can't eat as much as when you were a kid. And I'm just like, Thanksgivings are never the same.
Oh God. Okay, someone else go. I'll go last.
I can't think of one right now. I'm still thinking.
Some
Go
fucking
with yours.
Legos were the bomb.
Dude.
Lego. Okay, I had Legos, Lincoln Logs, and Bionicle.
Holy shit.
Dude.
Bionicle
That was my shit, too.
I remember going over to my friend's house watching the Bionicle movie when it premiered on Cartoon Network. Bionicle was
You are a
amazing.
special kind of nerd,
It was.
weren't you?
I was the kid.
I love that shit.
I was
too.
the kid that didn't know anything,
Keep in mind, I
and
was
when
the only-
people showed me stuff, I was just like, "Yo,
Keep in mind, I'm the only kid in our group that never got into Bionicle.
It sucks to be you. Also,
Sucks to
here's
be
the thing:
you.
the storyline was actually really well written for what it was.
Man.
I'm just like, these are just like action figures, basically. Why is this
Then
story
they-
so detailed
then
with a rich history and
Then
everything?
they rebooted it and everyone got sacked.
Because the story's crap, also.
Yeah.
But anyway,
They could
Travis,
just reboot the story.
different
That's their fault.
tribes representing different powers,
So-
all for the mask of power."
So basically, Bionicle was Avatar, but with robots.
Before Avatar,
like it took Avatar and Power Rangers and just kind of combined it.
that actually sounds.
but it
fucking
went like
amazing.
even deeper. There was like fire, water, wind.
Ice,
Earth-
stone, and Earth. I don't know.
Earth-
Those two things were separate for some
There was
reason.
light, and then there was darkness.
Ooh,
It
that
went
edge.
deep.
That edge.
That edge.
That's I'm actually curious about that now. I had one of the books at one point, Mask of Light book. Yeah.
The novelization. But anyway, go ahead.
Kids Next Door was fucking. You never thought you'd always have like this group of friends that you always hang out with when you're in elementary school. You're just like, we're gonna be friends forever, and then you
Don't.
grow up and you realize that you've never talked to them again. I feel Kids Next Door explains why that happened. They're just like, you get to middle school and then they wipe your memory and you don't talk to people anymore.
Pretty much.
But here's the thing, like Kids Next Door, the concept of it was actually well founded. While as it's like Ant-Man, it's absurd as Ant-Man is, the premise works. As absurd as the premise for Kids Next Door is, it's literally elementary schoolers around the world
fighting adults.
Not fighting adults, fighting things that kids hate.
Homework.
Which is a thing that a lot of people...
Asparagus.
Spankings.
Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Best episode, by the way. But like you had adults in that universe that you didn't hate.
Yeah.
Then there was that dentist asshole.
Oh, Night Praise.
Night Praise.
God.
Night Praise.
God.
Make sure you brush.
Here's the thing, though. A lot of people.
Why did he still have a retainer?
I don't know. He was one of those special people that had headgear growing up. But no, it was. And that's the thing. It got canceled. They wanted to keep going, and they couldn't. They rushed the ending. They're just like, well, we want to finish the story, so they did. That being said, they want to bring it back.
Yeah, they have.
They either want to continue it or reboot the entire series as a whole, but still keep the main cast.
I want them to continue it.
I could take it either way.
Did you see that? That thing that was like galactic.
Yeah, that's what
they want to continue.
Oh, I'd love that.
Now, here's the thing, though. Like, I've always been saying this. It could make a movie. Like, they literally could. Like, they didn't get the ending they wanted to.
They did have a movie.
They did.
He means a live action.
Understand what I mean? A live action movie. Like, literally, that could pander to children and like nostalgic like adults and teenagers.
Basically, Toy Story 3.
Exactly. And it could actually work. That's the thing. Like, you can literally take like the old characters, bring them back, make them a little bit older, but still not like full-grown college kids. Make them like middle schoolers to like.
So basically, all grown up for Kids Next Door. Except for they're actually doing stuff.
Yes, and then you can actually like have actual stakes.
Yeah.
Because even in the show, like, they could have died.
A lot.
Several times.
Many times. And now, like, if you make them like freshmen in high school, you're just like, I feel more likely they could die. And you have the connection with all those characters because you like every single one of them. And you have that open walk of life. You have every single culture in there. And it wasn't like racist. It really wasn't. Touched on every section of life.
Not like fucking Beyblade. Oh my god. To end this off, and I can't believe I kind of like skipped over this because this was like a huge thing for me up until I see my sophomore year in high school.
Beyblade.
But I was
Beyblade.
Stop.
Beyblade.
Stop.
I like Beyblade. Shut your mouth.
I did too, but we're not talking about it right now. Okay. But
Sharpen you to death.
The hugest thing for me as a kid, like I said, up until my sophomore year in high school, and I know someone's about to roll their eyes or groan, but I was the hugest fucking Sonic nerd you would have ever
I thought you were going to say Naruto.
Me too. At a certain point, I was,
Gotta go fast.
Okay. You know
There's
what?
only one
Fuck it.
fast man in the world, though.
Before the memes, yes, Sonic is cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the memes, Sonic was cooler.
Here's the thing.
No.
Okay,
This is
stop.
why we get shy out in public.
Alright. So yeah, as a little kid, I loved Sonic to death. It was my shit. So we're gonna have to wrap it out because this cast has gone for long enough. Like, comment, subscribe. What nostalgic thing were you as a kid? What could you have done without? This has been the EDS Podcast, and we will check you later.